Good evening, good evening. How are you all? Just setting it up, bear with me. I'm technically inept. Right. One day I'll get this down to a fine art. Well, sort of. Now, so that's the questions I've got up. Good. I need to do turn that to live chat. Make yourself a coffee. I'll be a few minutes. Then we'll get there. G'day, awesome. Pop out chat works best for me. I can see what the bloody hell I'm doing. Look at that. I'm going to change that so it's a bit smaller. I think we're nearly there. Enjoying a nice cup of coffee. It is 100 degrees. It's going to get a bit warmer, but we're just about at the end of summer. Yeah, we're just about knocked it on here. 38 today, which is 103, 104. And it will be tomorrow about 100, and then it drops down to a comfortable 95. Autumn. Right, tonight's questions will be general knowledge, mix of this and a mix of that. I'm doing the really tough questions tonight because I've got all the experts in. You, obviously. So we need is the experts in, and we're right. With that, I've so many pages there. Tonight there. Right, I'll minimise that. Good shot. No, you'd love it, Robin. You'd love it. You really would. Particularly where I'm sitting at the moment, which is in the lounge with the aircon going. Perfect weather. It's about 65 degrees in here. We're getting close to a start. I'm going to start in 2 minutes. So if you want to rush up and get a drink, a sandwich, I don't know, make a roast, make it in the microwave, be a bit quick. Awful tasting though, microwave food. Microwaves are okay for reheating food or defrosting food. I'm yet to be convinced they're any good for cooking. People say, no, they're great. I say, I don't. Been away for a little while. I've no doubt there's been a load of nonsense on YouTube. Lots of arguments, hatred, anger, bitterness. Yeah, well, you don't need a family when you've got those type of friends on YouTube. My only pet hate about YouTube is people being misleading and deceptive and getting money from that practice. Very wrong. 1 minute warning for the 4,000 people that are in attendance. Tonight's prize is a weekend at Horse and Hookers. Home cooking, of course. You will have to sleep outside, but she will throw a tarp over the top of you. Just consider it that way. G'day, Lake. Right, we are going to begin. Like I say, it's general knowledge. And if you find the questions tough, too bad. I expect more out of you. Question 1. Which ocean surrounds the Maldives? Which ocean surrounds, g'day Leroy, the Maldives? Spelt M-A-L-D-I-V-E-S, Maldives. Which ocean surrounds it? And the answer comes in straight away with Awesome Hooker with Atlantic. No. The answer is Leroy, Indian. You're only 8,000 miles off, Hooker. No problem. Leroy, correct with the Indian Ocean, which is actually my ocean off the west coast of Australia. It is an enormous ocean. You don't want to swim from Australia to the Maldives, trust me. Question 2. What is the name of Europe's most northern town? Actually, I'll accept just the country because it may struggle with the town. What is the name of Europe's most northern town? What country is it in? Think about it. May surprise you because there are settlements further north than this, but this is a town. In other words, it has to have a fixed mountain. And look at that, straight away, redeeming herself, 8,000 miles she swam to get to the end of the ocean. G'day, biker. And correct with Norway. Norway. The town was called Hammerfest. Question 3, the last prisoner. Come on. Probably should know this one. Really should. The last prisoner to be held in the Tower of London was who? And yes, I already got this one. Oh, I'm a bit of history buff. The last prisoner to be held in the Tower of London. Get in there, you scoundrel. Who was it? Who was the last prisoner in the Tower of London? I'm surprised at you, people. I can tell you it wasn't for that long. And he was moved to a place called Spandau. Like our Aussie is correct with Rudolf Hess, who landed in Scotland with a farmer pointing a fork at him, wanting to end the war. That didn't do him too good, did it? I've come to make peace. Get in there. See you in 50 years when you're dead. Yes, he went from the Tower of London to Spandau. Question 4. Which Tasmanian marsupial is known for its fiery temper? Okay. Which Tasmanian marsupial is known for its fiery? It actually growls. I expect Michael will get this one quite quickly. Actually, no, Leroy's jumped in with the answer. It is indeed Tasmanian devil. Yep, that is correct. It is the Tasmanian. The wife was sort of talking with the lips moving, but I didn't understand a word she said. I think she said Leroy's cheating. I said, Right, question. Here we go. Now you will all get this. There are some easy and some harder questions. This is in the easier category. And I expect answers immediately after the 20 second lag, of course. Question, who was the lover of the Roman known as Mark Antony? He wasn't that fussy. He moved on a few times. But who was the lover at the time of the Roman known as Mark Antony? Mark Antony was cousin to Bicus Ducus. Don't make fun of the name. Who was the lover? And bingo, straight away, just in front of Lake Shadow is Cleopatra, awesome hooker. Absolutely. She wasn't that fussy, really. She moved on to Caesar, whatever, really. But in the end, the snake bit her on the bum, literally. Well, I wasn't there, but it's just a metaphor. Don't hold it against me.
Yes, you were, and I knew one 1856.
Right, 1812, get it right. Overture. Here we go. Question. And you should get this one as well. Which summer dessert is often eaten during Wimbledon's tennis matches? And you would be staggered to know of the tonnage of this. It's incredible at Wimbledon. Which summer dessert is often eaten during Wimbledon's tennis matches? I think last time I looked at something like 30 tonne. Well, that's actually it's not ice cream. It's traditional. They don't use ice cream, and it's actually something and something. Leroy's close. Strawberry, yes. Shortcake, no. 15, no. Football. Look on the replay. Yes, Leroy was close, but not correct. No, it's not icy stuff. It's so famous. It goes back to the very beginning of the tournament of Wimbledon. Strawberry is correct. Cheesecake is not. Strawberry is correct. Awesome. Gelato is not. I keep saying it's not ice cream. What else would you put with strawberries? Think about it. The answer by Mystic Angels is correct. It is strawberries and cream. I don't know how far it goes back. It goes back a very long way. But they have, I'm not kidding you, apparently something like 20 tonne of strawberries on standby. And I did see once about 10 years ago, a little cup full of strawberries and cream is only £14, or about $30 US. It is Wimbledon. Cost you 600 to get a seat. Question. Interesting question, actually. What happened to the racehorse named Shergar in 1983? Shergar, spelled S-H-E-R-G-A-R. What happened to the racehorse named Shergar in 1983? Something happened to it. She could do. Orson says you're bribing me with a kiss. No, she actually got that one on her own. I'll watch her on the keyboard if she's Googling, Wimbledon dessert. And I rule her out then. The answer is quite correct from Sean the Brit. It is indeed, well, you could say horse. It is kidnapped. It was kidnapped. Obviously, Shergar was worth a lot of money. Interesting question, this one. In J.M. Barrie's, spelled B-A-R-R-I-E-S, novel, J.M. Barrie's novel, where did the lost boys live? For you bookworms. Author was J.M. Barrie, the novel. Where did the lost boys live? So where did they live? Indeed, the answer is Michael Jackson-ish, with Orson Hooker coming in with Never, Never Land. Leroy Rock High. Mr. Braden said, in a cave on an island. Sean the Brit's correct. It's not Michael Jackson's Neverland, but it's Never, Never Land. The Lost Boys. Now, I would say to you, without doubt, because I'm a very much big fan of this particular show. I want you to name, this is the question, the Doctor who played by the actors Tom Baker, William Hartnell, and Patrick Troughton. What was the name of the Doctor they played? All three, in fact there's been a lot more, all three played this Doctor. The actors were Tom Baker, William Hartnell, and Patrick Troughton. Sean the Brit, I expected him to get this. It is indeed Doctor Who. Things changed a lot over the years. It was a kids show when it first came out, Sean. I know that because I used to watch the cardboard petitions they used to have in the studio Dark and to Move, as these very weird looking Cybermen, who looked more like a plumber, walked around the studio with William Hartnell saying, oh dear, the world is in danger. True, I did. I watched the very first episode in the, I think it was 1964, 63, something like that. Righto, question. Now you should get these ones. Question is, which Russian town suffered an infamous nuclear disaster in 1986? I expect answers flowing quickly to that question. Which Russian town suffered an infamous nuclear disaster in 1986? Russia's answer to do it was to just keep covering it with concrete. Indeed, Leroy, just ahead of Sean, just ahead of Orson, it's Chernobyl. Truly, the answer, what the Russians have done, is just kept pouring concrete. I think they do it every day. They just keep filling it with concrete. The problem is, thermonuclear reaction, when it melts down, this keeps going down to the core of the Earth. I'm expecting a big bang any moment. Just put a camera. No, listen, pour more concrete. They'll never see it. We'll call it a theme park. Yeah, das ist gut. Here we go. Question, what planet shares its name with a dog? What planet, planet shares its name with a dog? And they came one after the other, but Leroy just had a biker, Aussie, Sean the Brit with Pluto. That's the name. Well, I mean, I'll ask you this question. This is the answer to that question, which planet shares its name with a dog. How many of you know people with a dog named Pluto? Cartoon, you do. Question. Yes, Pluto was delisted, then relisted, Leroy, for some strange reason. You know, scientific arguing. No, it's not a planet, it's a big rock, frozen. No, mate, it's a planet, it's big enough. No, you just take it off, rip it off, and it's back on again now. In fact, they say, as I read a few months ago, that there's maybe another planet just beyond Pluto. Seriously. Probably Boyd, but where most of them should go. Question. In nautical terms, what is the opposite of windward? Hey, Captain, stare at the windward. Yeah. What about the other way, Captain? What's that called? Well, it's the opposite of windward. And Leroy's close with Bergatron. Mr. actually comes downward. Which guide down? That means it's sinking. Arsewood, great answer. Starboard, it's an answer, but it's incorrect. It's a terminology, nautical term. You're steering to windward, which you're then facing the wind, or question, the answer is leeward. Now, Leroy got it eventually. Leeward, do with the wind. And some small tin cans sitting on the side of the Flora Road, there's plenty of windward going on there. Interesting. I wouldn't know this answer, to be honest. Question, what is an irrational fear of trees called? What is an irrational fear of trees called? Leroy is probably the furthest away from me. Honestly, if Leroy had started digging out his backyard and I started digging out my backyard, it would probably me. So, question was, what is the irrational fear of trees called? Arborphobia is a fantastic answer. It's very well thought out, but it's wrong. And Mr. Treeophobia is not the answer. But late night with Nippy and Janie is correct. Dendrophobia. I wouldn't have got that. Leroy meant to say leaf phobia. All good answers. You're very intellectual, thinking about, this could be it. Right, I wouldn't got this one either. This is an anatomical question. Question, where on the human body is the zygomatic bone found? Spelled Z for you Americans, A fussy. Z-Y-G-O-M-A-T-I-C. Where on the human body is the zygomatic bone found? And Jamie say, ear, it's very close to the ear, but it's not the ear. Forehead, it's close to the forehead. Hand, no one ear. Leroy. Wrist, no one ear. Head and the ear were close. It's called something else in normal terminology, but it's just under your eye. Where on the human body is the zygomatic bone found? So your ear's just underneath your eye, Sean. What has my old country come to? Yeah, but I can see what I'm hearing by that. I have my ear right under my eye. I can hear what I'm seeing. The answer is Nippy and Janie's cheekbone. We all call it the cheekbone. But now, for eternity, whilst you're still breathing, you'll know it's the zygomatic bone. Awesome's also correct with cheek. Now, I expect those literary amongst us, those that read books, educated and come from a higher class. Well, anyone should know this. Question. Had a lot of plastic surgery. Yeah. You remind me of a sketch from Carl Pilkington. You remember that one, Sean, when he's on the radio with Ricky Gervais and Steve Murch? And Steve says, half biscuit, half man. It was in reference to a rock group. Carl said, half biscuit, half man. Thinking they cloned a biscuit with a man. Question here. And I expect you to get this one, which Welsh poet insisted that we do not go gently into the night? Of course. Which Welsh poet insisted that we do not go gently into the night? If Janie comes up with Frost, good answer, but incorrect. Mr. Andrew says, I don't know poetry. And Sean the Brit is absolutely correct. It's Dylan Thomas. Very famous Welsh poet. And if you've ever been to Wales, I'm sure Sean has, like we would say on a sign in Australia to say, pub, 5 kilometres. It's just 3 words, 3 letters. Pub. In Wales, it's a 42-foot sign that says, lots of bells thrown in there, and an arrow pointing. They certainly know how to use the consonants in Wales. I'm not sure whether at the time they created their alphabet, they realised they could throw a few vowels more extra ones in there.
I think that's Sean right.
Yeah, Sean's got the next answer. He's written it in Welsh. So, people, Sean has just put the next answer in Welsh. So you've got a bit of a head start there. Question. In women's gymnastics, what is a 6'6" long? Don't be rude. In women's gymnastics, what is 6'6" long? It's an apparatus, obviously. What's it called? Part of the competition that they use. In women's gymnastics, and Leroy's got it straight away. Leroy Jenkins with balance beam. Beam would have been enough, but it's beam the same. This question's for all the women. Men drop together. The question is directed at women. Which famous novel featured Jo, Meg, Beth, and Amy March? Which famous novel featured Jo, Beth, and Amy March? The person who got answers parallel bars. No, that wasn't the novel. And the answer came straight away from a woman. Little Woman. That's the name of the book. All those people that got the, and Sean should get this one, I imagine, quite quickly. This is another poem question. Question. Who wrote the poem Paradise Lost? Who wrote the poem Paradise Lost? I'll just reiterate tonight's prize is a weekend at Awesome Hookers. She'll feed you, but you do have to sleep outside, but she has a 15 by 10 foot tarp to throw at the top of you, just in case it becomes slightly inclement.
And we'll run a packet of biscuits and 2 minute noodles.
That's fine. We will throw in a packet of 2 minute noodles and a packet of, well, check biscuits, the cheap one. Yeah. Sean wants to say Burns, Zeus, no. Read it again. Who wrote the poem Paradise Lost? Famous poem. The answer from Nippy and Janie, quite correctly, is Milton. No, not the Milton you're thinking of. No, not that. I'm going to kill you all. This was John Milton. Moving straight along now to another series of questions that are, I believe, quite easy. So I'm not going to hold it against you if you don't answer, but I'll just scoff quietly to myself in the corner. Question. Name the Chinese writer born in 551 BC, known for preaching high moral standards. He obviously doesn't come to the bottom of YouTube. Definitely not. Name the Chinese writer born in 551 BC, known for preaching high moral standards. Hello, life with Jan. Just keep throwing in an answer. You never know, you might slap one on. And first one to get the correct answer is, just ahead of Sean, is Awesome Booker, who's on fire tonight. Obviously, she wants to win the prize at her house. And it is Confucius. Socrates, a little bit later. Good answer though, right? Don't knock yourself. It's a good answer. My keyboard doesn't like Chinese. I like to call Confucius, by the way. Yes, he wouldn't visit Lloyd. All right, ladies, you should get this one. Sure. Name the fictional character whose household duties did not prevent her determination to dance. Name the fictional character whose household duties did not prevent her determination to dance. Remember, it's fictional. And Nippy and Janie, straight in there with the glass slipper. Even though it doesn't do properly, she says, I'm squeezing the basket in there. It is indeed Cinderella. Mary Poppins. Ready? Chum, 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 chum. Chum's got the answer, but it is not true. It is Cinderella. Really is Cinderella. Because it was fictional. Mary Poppins was real. Who she was. So Dick told me, right? Here we go. Question: which hero of a seasonal song has a very shiny nose? Easy question. Come on. Which hero of a seasonal song has a very shiny nose? And they flew off the bat straight away on the mark. Just finishing first was Nippy and Janie again. Ahead of Awesome, Sean, Lake, and Life, and Biker with Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer. I reckon you got the red nose. No, the whiskey. Yeah, here's another one. Keep it right, mate. What's your name? My name's Nick Dundee, Australia. Question. Usually partnered with milk, but sometimes also with jam and custard. Name this yellow gold dry food. It's a weird question with a simple answer, but I've never used custard on it or jam. Usually partnered with milk, but sometimes also with jam and custard. Name this yellow gold dry food. The jam and custard is going to confuse you. You take that away. No, it's not Ritz, it's not crumpets, it's not scone. Come again? Hardly know. Question is, let's get rid of the jam and custard. Usually partnered with milk, but sometimes this named yellow gold dry food is, yeah, like a cereal with a name. Not whoops, it's not biscuits. Probably don't eat a lot of this in the US. UK and Australia, they do. Not porridge, not whey. It's crunchy to get out of the packet. Made from corn. Where'd you call it? Cereal. Well, that's half the answer, but I need the name. And the answer Sean got. It was always there anyway. It is indeed cornflakes. Why they would put in also on occasions jam and custard. I have never seen jam and custard on cornflakes. Like someone would have vomited on my cornflakes if they served that up. Here we go. This is interesting. I'll be going there shortly. Question. Which English national park is associated with poets and an illustrator of small animals? Which English national park, so if you want the name of the park, is associated with poets and an illustrator of small animals? Yeah, I've had condensed milk on the cornflakes before, but not custard. Hyde is a good answer. It's incorrect. It's way up north from there. It's sort of a fancy area actually now in the UK. Some people used to call it a swamp when I was a kid, and that's a fancy area. Which English national park is associated with poets and an illustrator of small animals? Yeah, but you're allowed to learn knowledge outside of the US life, Diane, occasionally skip to the page that says overseas. Person answers worship down. No, it's not the name of the park. 10 seconds, I'll give you the answer. Sean will kick himself. Where do you go on the weekend, Sean? Have a little bit of a sail around it. Admire the scenery. No, it's not Beatrice, it's Potter Park. Oh, 2 seconds to go. All right, the answer to which English national park is associated with poets and an illustrator of small animals is the Lake District. National Park. I thought it was just called the Lake District, to be honest, Sean, but it's a national park. Very nice, very lovely. I'll let Sean get this one quite quickly now. Sean, again, just for your helping you, has twice in the text put the answer to the next question in Welsh. So stand by. Question: which London square is famous or infamous for its pigeon population? Simple question. Which London square is famous or infamous for its pigeon population? Sean will get this like that. Believe me. And hello, ahead of Sean with the answer. It's Orson Hooker with Trafalgar. Celebrates the Battle of Trafalgar, of course. One thing, you know, you've got to give the UK and Britain the credit. They're very good at war. Not very good at sport, let's be honest. Lousy at sport. Very good at war. Here we go. It's a sporting question. We'll throw a few people off. And Orson Hooker is actually in front of the stage, obviously in line with that major prize. Question: I am a Liverpudlian, but not Liverpool. What am I? I am Liverpudlian, but I'm not Liverpool. What am I? Two famous soccer teams in that area. The answer is not Liverpool. So I'm a Liverpudlian, but not Liverpool. I wouldn't say Scouser. It's pretty generalised, Sean. It's not Liverpool, Sean. And you got what I said there. The answer is Everton. I am Everton. There are two clubs in there. One is Liverpool, one is Everton. Often violence erupts in that town, even without a soccer ball. Not required. Not prerequisite for an internal war. Good answer, Manchester United, but the answer is not correct. It is Everton. Now, I expect some of you will get this literary English, yeah? Question: name the French novelist and poet born in 1802 who was exiled to Jersey and wrote about a hunchback. What is the name of the author and poet? Make the questions easier, right? Name the French novelist and poet born in 1802 who was exiled to Jersey and who wrote about a hunchback. And I have half the answer, which I'll give to Orson Hooker. It indeed was Victor Hugo. And Sean is right there, close to the line of clothing and shoes. Hugo Boss. And handbags and all sorts of wonderful things. Victor Hugo. Right, I expect those that are old like me will get this answer to the next question. Question: who was Hollywood's star born in 1928 who made her first film at the age of 3 and who was famous for frilly dresses and ringlets? Easy question, really. She was born in 1928, was famous for frilly dresses and ringlets, and her first time on film, she was 3 years old. Very, very close together there. Kathy Weezer just beaten by Sean the Brit with Shirley Temple. Yes, didn't really do much after that, really. Did she retire into wealth from just that one film? Question: name the American actress famous for her violet eyes and voluptuous figure who found fame as an Egyptian. Name the American actress famous for violet eyes and voluptuous figure, who found fame as an Egyptian. And Nippy and Janie, definitely correct. It is Elizabeth Taylor. An off-the-cuff question: how many times did Liz Taylor marry Richard Byrne? I'm just curious. Right, a bit of a tricky question. I thought it was 3. So, I thought it was 3. John says 7. He probably married a couple of times himself. But older lady to him at the time was still company. Question: what has 3 classes? Can be found underground or high above, and can be a target for ultra-modern hopes or lavish nostalgia. Stupid question. What can be found underground or above ground, and can be average or lavish? Internet too slow. Have to move to satellite. Be right back. Penthouse, it's a good answer. Very good answer. It's a form of transport. It's my clue. What can be found underground, high above, can be ultra modern or lavish and nostalgic. It's a form of transport. And no, it's not the SpaceX. And unbelievably, from the depths of Australia comes the answer with, just in front of Cathy Weezer, Mystic Angels. Train. It's a train. Metro, I would have given. Question. These are a bit sort of sneaky, tricky ones, but they're obvious because I can see the answer. Question. I have a cake and a table named after me, and I'm used all around the world. What am I? I have a cake and a table named after me, and I'm used all around the world. What am I? Nippy is fired up, even though it's like, I don't know, after midnight with Nippy, she's like a razor blade. The answer is coffee, as in hence coffee cake, coffee table. Bit tricky. Sean comes in with a picnic. For a Mars bar himself, mate, while you're there. Twix. Mind you don't say old man eat Twix is about it, according to Carl Pilkington. Question. Home to the Ross, R-O-S-S, Ross Sea, and a species of flightless bird. Where is this? Home to the Ross Sea, and a species of flightless bird. Where is this? Scotland is a good answer. It's cold enough, but it's not the answer. Home to the Ross Sea, R-O-S-S, and species of flightless bird, and cormorant is able to fly. And the answer, Life for Diane, who would never get a question correct apparently, is first with Antarctica. Flightless bird being the penguin, and the Ross Sea, it is just off Antarctica. So, Life for Diane, you beat Leroy, who's a legend on cruises. You beat Awesome Hooker because she gave the wrong answer to Shetland Island, but you did beat Nippy and Janie with Antarctica. Right, outstanding. I think you've just gone up a grade now, so obviously the questions will get harder for Life for Diane now. You can blame her, not me. Question. Name the British lady who played a role in the Crimean War and who received the Order of Merit in 1907. What was her name? Name of the British lady who played a role in the Crimean War and who received the Order of Merit in 1907. No, Victoria. Nope. I'd tell you she was dead by then, mate. Remember, 1900. Go on. No, not a royal. Wasn't a royal. Not Queen Elizabeth. Listen again. Oh, I don't need to get you to listen again because Sean picked it up. The person that received the Order of Merit in 1907 was famous for her work in the Crimean War was Florence Nightingale. Indeed. Right, historical question. Some of you will get this. Some of you will sit there and just look at the screen, maybe the cat. I wonder what that was that. Question is, name the Corsican who captured Toulon and who sold Louisiana to America. He sold Louisiana to America. I kid you not.
I gotta give you more chocolate. I said if you need chocolate to make the questions cheaper.
You didn't give me any chocolate.
I mean, easier.
And the answer is correct. By Orson Hooker. It's Napoleon Bonaparte. Followed quickly and fastly behind the Leroy. And Nikki knows this, but she didn't put it in. And Shaun of of course, gets second prize with no. Napoleon Bonaparte was a Corsican. Captured Toulon. He did sell Louisiana to America. I wonder what he got for it. Bowl of garlic snails, maybe? These questions are easy in my eyes. Maybe you can know the answer. Question: born in the 16th century in Devon, England. His career was linked to tobacco and potatoes, and he was imprisoned in the Tower of London. Who was he? Born in the 16th century in Devon, England. His career was linked to tobacco and potatoes, and he was imprisoned in the Tower of London. Who was this? It was Sir something. And Shaun the Brits picked it up. So, wow. So back to front. The page. Maybe the Welsh dyslexic DNA that Shaun's got in his blood. It's Sir Walter Raleigh. Rumpelstiltskin is a great answer. Wrong continent. Wrong year.
God, I haven't heard that name, eh?
Question. Who created the animation for Monty Python? This is easy for me. I'm a Python nut. Who created the animation for Monty Python? Who created the animation for the Monty Python series? What was his name? Shaun, I expect better from you. Who created the animation, cartoons, TV and movie, and continues to this day to be a very creative man? Monty Python. He's probably overlooked as a Python, to be honest, on many occasions. A is American. Oh, we can't have that. Oh, no. But very creative all the same. And pretty good actor in those Python movies. Who was it that did the animation for Monty Python? I'll give you another 5 seconds. Don't come up with the answer. Give it to you. 2, 1. The animator for the Monty Python movies and TV series was Terry Gilliam. He's a Python, but he's probably the least known of the Pythons, to be honest. The British keep it quiet. No, we'll mention it happening. Very small text at the bottom of the movie. Just quickly, Terry Gilliam. Very creative. If you Google Terry Gilliam, you'll see what he's done in his life. Sorry? Give Orson a wrench. Yeah. Right click on that. No, nothing else. No. And as moderator if you left click. There, Orson, you're now moderator. No cheating, but booting people that are answering before you. All right, here we go. I'm actually skipping. Now, this is a good question, and it's not only in my country, but it is in my country. Question: what is the world's biggest spider? They are in Australia, they're elsewhere in the world as well. But what is the world's biggest spider called? She's putting up the torches, putting out tin of beans, putting hot water in the noodles. She's obviously cleaning up. Big night out for Orson coming up. The answer is a bird-eating spider, but I want to know what it's called, Mr. Country. What is the world's biggest spider called? It's tarantulas in the name, and bird eater is in the name. But the first part, listen, which is the question. What is the world's biggest spider called? It's the something bird eater tarantula. Gigantic is a good answer, it's not correct. Think of David, biblically, and think of the bloke he was fighting. Biker Aussie's got it. It's the Goliath. And I've seen one. It's about the size of a baseball. Oh, sorry, more like a softball. Big. And it traps birds and eats them. This is an interesting question. I wouldn't have got the answer to this one, but smart people on the internet will know. Question. info.cern.ch is famous for being what? Big question. info.cern.ch is famous for being what? Probably heard it when I was younger, I just didn't remember it. No, they're not deadly to humans, just birds. So if you grow wings, look out. You need to type it. No, there's no need to type it out because it's actually like a obvious. Question again. info.cern.ch is famous for being what? Hello, Megan. Think about it. What's it famous for being? Yep, that's it. Just one info. So info.cern.ch is famous for being what? You'll remember this for the rest of your days. Like I say, when your last breath leaves you, you'll get some loved one, pull them close and say, this was the very first website. I know you're thinking of CERN and all sorts of things. That's what it is. The answer is the very first website. Now, most of you will now copy and paste. It's info.cern.ch. You will Google it. And I don't know what you'll find, but that was the world's very first website, which I think extraordinary. Right, I need to find another series of questions which I've got up here at the very top, because we're going to finish after the next 10 questions. The sneaky little questions. Done all the same. Here we go. Question. Who went to school with a lamb? Who went to school with a lamb? These are nursery questions. Big. Answer comes straight away. Who went to school with a lamb? And the answer from Kathy Weezer is Mary. Lake Shadow is betrothed to somebody. She said married. It indeed is Mary. Had a little lamb. His fleece, white as snow. I chopped it up, put it in the barbecue, a little bit of rosemary. Question. Who sat in a corner eating a Christmas pie? Who sat in a corner eating a Christmas pie? Easy. Letting all the tension go, giving all the questions at the end so you can release all your frustration. The answer is correct. I'll pay that one word. It's Jack Horner, little Jack Horner. Megan first, followed by Lake. Nippy said little Jack Horner, and Awesome threw in Tim, which I think he's probably with, probably in cahoots with Jack as far as making coffee in Canada. Indeed was little Jack Horner. Here we go. Question. Which item of nursery furniture was set on top of a tree? Which item of nursery furniture was set on top of a tree? Think about it. We got the nursery rhyme, and Awesome Hooker is correct with cradle. You know, sing it to your head now. Wasn't a rocking chair. Megan, what are you drinking? It's cradle. Down came baby, cradle and all. Question. Which traditional children's rhyme was about the Black Plague? Which traditional children's rhyme was about the plague? You've all sang it, girls. Probably Biker as well. Probably me as a young boy. Yes, you would have. Trust me. Which traditional children's rhyme was about the plague? First off the bat, just ahead of Mr. Angel, was Leroy with Ring Around the Roses. Actually, in the old terminology, it was just called Ring of Roses, which is the skin discoloration, just as you start to fade off into near death, just roses and O-rings all over the body, postulating, oozing out of concrete. And then you'd see pythons come past, yell the words out, "Brad, you dead?" "I'm not dead yet." "Oh, tell he's dead." "I'm all right. I'm feeling better every day." But love the pythons, don't you? Question. Which furry creatures lived on Wimbledon Common? The British will get this straight away. Which furry creatures lived on Wimbledon Common? Very close. Awesome is just ahead of the field at the moment by two questions. Megan comes in with sheep. No, not sheep. Which furry creature, fictional by the way, was famous on Wimbledon Common? Winnie the Pooh? No. Good answer, but wrong. Braggles? No. I'll hum a song. Da 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 da. Paddington Bear. That's not the music to Paddington Bear. Bart Ozzy says deer with no eyes. I'm not sure whether he's looking at his dinner. Good to know. It's not Paddington Bear. Question again. The furry creatures, kills that Paddington Bear straight away. The furry creatures lived on Wimbledon Common. 10 seconds, I'll give you the answer. Biker's honest, he has no idea. Megan says red boots. Look, repeat yourselves, particularly if you're from Britain. The answer too is to follow. Which furry creatures on Wimbledon Common? They were the Wombles. Oh, I knew that. The Wombles of Wimbledon Common, are we? Shaun the Sheep, I love Shaun the Sheep. He's funny as. We had this the other night in a discussion, not a question, Shaun. You'll get this one if you're there still. Ever heard of the Wombles of Wimbledon? You must, on occasions, get your Google to come outside the parameters of the United States of America. There's a whole world of wonderment out there. Question is, what is soaked in vinegar and then hung on a string? It's a schoolboy game that I played as a boy in the UK. What is soaked in vinegar and then hung on a string? Megan's got the answer, it's I'll Google it. Shaun's got it. We did have this discussion, it was just a discussion between I and Shaun. It's conkers. Come from a chestnut tree, you take them out, dry them naturally, then in the oven for about 2 hours on a really low heat, soaked in vinegar, they go hard, drill a hole through it, take the school on a piece of string, and then you smash the knuckles, if you're not being very generous, of your opponent. You're actually after his conker on his string, and the winner is the one that doesn't have his conker smashed. I didn't make any of that up. That's really true, everything I just said. Here we go. Now I expect very fast answers on this one. What is the Italian word for pie? Hopefully, obviously. What is the Italian word for pie? And I don't mean the mathematical pie. What is the Italian word for pie, as in consumable product? And Sean the Brit, everyone floated in with the answer. Sean just ahead of Megan. ZPD Survival, Awesome Hook, and Megan again, because she wanted to have two of them. It's pizza. But the answer first was Sean the Brit, who's now level with Awesome Hooker. Just read out. Who? So they're just behind Awesome. So
Yeah.
one question ahead, Awesome. Going to be touch and go. There's only two questions to go. The winner is the weekend, all expenses paid. Well, you've got to pay the expenses to get there. But you're spending the weekend at Awesome Cooker Centre, which she will provide as many pot needles as required. And you have to sleep outside, but she does have a 10-foot by 15-foot tarp to make sure if any inclement weather gets to you, you're protected. Two questions to go. Listen carefully. It sounds like a trick question, but it's not. How many bones are there on a skull and crossbones flag? You already have mental images come up in your mind, I know. How many bones are there on a skull and crossbones flag? Megan needs this vacation. She's only 22 points behind. Megan comes up with 2, which is usually the obvious answer. Lake Shadow comes up with the correct answer, which is 3. Think about the image in your mind again. It's not 4, it's 3. It's the thigh bone going one way, it's the thigh bone going the other way, and the big bullhead skull in the middle. So it's 3. First person to get that was Lake Shadow. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the very last question. And it's pretty easy. I expect you to get it. Here we go. Question. Name Fred Astaire's famous red-haired dancing partner. Simple question. Name Fred Astaire's famous red-haired dancing partner. They should come flooding in quickly, the answers. And they're coming in now. First on my screen was Sean the Brit, Ginger Rogers. Legal 2nd, Megan 3rd, Lake Shadow 4th, Kathy Weezer 5th, Awesome still doodling. So just do a bit of a tally up, and the winner is Awesome. Awesome Hooker, congratulations. You have won a weekend at your house. The good news is that you will have ample amount of pot noodle provided by yourself. And the sad news is that you're sleeping outside for the next 48 hours on the grass with a tarp. So thank you all for attending. Now, there's no requirement for a recount. Awesome was the clear winner, and as such, has won her own prize, which is tremendous. So I'm going to say the obvious thing now. Thank you all for turning up. If you have enjoyed it, I hope you have. I had fun doing it from time to time. And it is now, just after midnight in the US and just after 3 or 4 o'clock in Australia on the East Coast. Whatever part of the day you've got left, I want you to have an enjoyable and relaxing time. And maybe I'll see you next time. Until then, good night.